In 1989, a retired electrician named Bill Harmon installed a Lennox G20 series gas furnace in the basement of his home in Duluth, Minnesota. He spent $800. That furnace ran for 34 years without a single major repair. A new igniter in year 20, a blower capacitor in year 28. Total maintenance cost over 3 decades was less than $200. Bill sold the house in 2023. The new owners ripped out his furnace and replaced it with a 96% high-efficiency Lennox SL 280 series. 18 months later, the secondary heat exchanger cracked. The repair estimate was $4,200. The warranty covered the part but not the labor. The labor alone was $1,800. Bill's furnace ran for 34 years on $200 in repairs. Its replacement nearly bankrupted the new owners in under 2 years. This is not a horror story. This is the new normal. Welcome to Built to Break. If you are new here, subscribe. We investigate the engineering crimes hiding inside the products you trust with your family's safety. Today we are exposing why the modern high-efficiency furnace is one of the most dangerous financial traps in your home, and why the industry is counting on you not understanding what they changed. To understand why your furnace is a ticking time bomb, you need to understand one engineering decision that changed everything. The heat exchanger. In an old 80% efficiency furnace, the design was simple. Gas burns inside a steel or cast iron heat exchanger. The hot combustion gases pass through the exchanger once, warming the air that blows into your house. The leftover exhaust, still hot, exits through a metal flue pipe that goes straight up through your roof. 30% of the heat goes up the chimney. That sounds wasteful. The government agreed. Starting in 2015, the Department of Energy began pushing minimum efficiency standards that effectively forced manufacturers to phase out 80% furnaces in favor of 90% and above models. To hit 90% efficiency, engineers had to capture the heat that used to go up the chimney. So they added a second heat exchanger. This secondary exchanger cools the exhaust gases so aggressively that the water vapor in the combustion byproduct condenses into liquid. That liquid is acidic. It has a pH between 3 and 4, roughly the same acidity as orange juice. In an old furnace, this condensation never formed because the exhaust stayed hot enough to exit as vapor. In a new, high-efficiency furnace, that acidic liquid sits inside the secondary heat exchanger every single time the unit cycles. The exchanger is made from stainless steel, but even stainless steel corrodes under constant exposure to acidic condensate. Hairline cracks form. When a heat exchanger cracks, it can leak carbon monoxide into your air supply. This is not a comfort issue, it is a safety emergency. The unit must be shut down immediately. And here's where the financial trap snaps shut. The big 3 furnace manufacturers are Carrier, Lennox, and Trane. Together, they control roughly 65% of the residential HVAC market in North America. All 3 companies have moved to proprietary heat exchanger designs that are not interchangeable between brands, or even between model years within the same brand. When your secondary heat exchanger cracks after year 8, and industry data suggests that between 15 and 25% of high-efficiency units will experience this failure within 12 years, you face a repair that ranges from $3,000 to $5,000 for the part and labor. On a furnace that costs $6,000 to $8,000 installed, that repair is economically irrational. The technician will tell you what Gary the repairman told us about appliances. It is not worth fixing. Buy a new one. But the heat exchanger is only half the trap. The second engineering crime is the control board. An old furnace had a standing pilot light and a mechanical gas valve. 2 components, both replaceable for under $100 combined. A modern high-efficiency furnace has a circuit board that controls the ignition sequence, monitors the flame sensor, manages the blower speed, communicates with your thermostat, and runs self-diagnostic error codes. If that board fails, and they fail regularly, Due to power surges and voltage fluctuations, the replacement costs between $400 and $700. But here's the real crime. Carrier, Lennox, and Trane each use proprietary boards that are programmed specifically for their units. You cannot substitute a generic board. You cannot repair the board. You must order the exact replacement from the manufacturer. And if your furnace is more than 10 years old, that board may no longer be in production. One HVAC technician in Colorado told us he has seen 2-year-old furnaces with discontinued control boards because the manufacturer released a new revision and stopped supporting the old one. The furnace is mechanically fine, the blower works, the gas valve works, but without that specific circuit board, it is a $6,000 metal box that produces nothing. The third failure point is the condensate drain system. Because high-efficiency furnaces produce liquid condensation, they require a drain line, a condensate trap, and often a small pump to move the liquid to a floor drain. In an old furnace, none of this existed. There was no liquid to manage. In a new furnace, if the condensate line clogs, which it does frequently because the acidic liquid grows algae and mineral deposits, the safety switch shuts the furnace down. Your heat stops working in the middle of January because a plastic tube is clogged with slime. The service call to clear the line costs $150 to $250. It is not a catastrophic expense, but it is a recurrent one that never existed before. The industry was forced to chase efficiency numbers. So what is the solution? You cannot buy a new 80% furnace anymore in most states. The regulations have made the simple, reliable design effectively illegal for new installations. But you can do 3 things. First, if you already own an 80% furnace that still runs, do not let anyone convince you to upgrade. That furnace is not inefficient. It is paid off, it is reliable, and it is not going to crack a heat exchanger or brick a control board. The energy savings from a new unit will take 15 to 20 years to offset the purchase price, and the new unit may not survive that long. Second, if you must buy new, avoid the premium smart models with variable speed compressors and communicating thermostats. Every additional feature is another failure point. Look for single-stage units with the simplest control boards available. The fewer chips inside the furnace, the fewer things can die. Third, find an independent HVAC contractor who is not a dealer for one specific brand. Carrier dealers will sell you Carrier, Lennox dealers will sell you Lennox, and independent tech will tell you which units he sees failing the least, because he is the one who has to fix them. Ask him one question: what do you have in your own house? That answer is worth more than every manufacturer brochure ever printed. Here's the truth about your furnace. The machine that used to last 30 years with $100 in maintenance has been re-engineered into a machine that costs 4 times as much, fails in half the time, and requires proprietary parts that the manufacturer can discontinue whenever they choose. They did not do this to save you money on your gas bill. They did it to create a replacement cycle in a product category that used to be a one-time purchase. Your old furnace was a 30-year asset. Your new furnace is a 10-year subscription. Stop upgrading what already works. Stop trusting the efficiency sticker. And if your old 80% unit is still running in the basement, treat it like the asset it is, because they do not make them like that anymore, on purpose. If this investigation opened your eyes, watch this video next. And if you are new here, subscribe to Built to Break. Every video we make is another product they cannot hide behind the marketing anymore.